Taliban announcement, women allowed in gender-segregated universities. A month after the Taliban recaptured Kabul, Taliban officials began to construct their interim cabinet and outline their expectations for governance. Abdul Baqi Haqqani, the Taliban government's new minister for higher education, announced on September 12th that women could attend university. However, women will be required to attend universities and schools that are segregated by gender. Haqqani also said that dress codes are mandatory, indicating that wearing the hijab is compulsory and must be worn at all times. Segregating classes, especially universities, is already becoming a logistical nightmare. University representatives are worried that there will be no female teachers available to teach all female classes. The subjects that will be allowed to be taught are also reportedly under review, with not much elaboration from Taliban officials.
Yeah, this is going to be a major issue. I mean, they had a temporary solution. Let me bring it up first. This was their temporary solution. I don't know if people saw that.
Well, can you describe it for people who are listening?
Oh yeah, they just basically cut the classes in half and they put a curtain in the middle so that the men can't see the women, so that all of a sudden all sorts of depravity doesn't start in the middle of the class. I mean, if this curtain wasn't here in the middle, this would just turn into an orgy right away. Like,
shut the fuck up.
like, thank God for this curtain. Like, oh my God.
Oh my God, I hate you.
Wow, look, actually, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 men and 5 women. Women seem to be more interested in education. Interesting. No, I'm just but anyways, this was their temporary solution. Yeah, go on.
Well, there was also, like I was saying, there's a lot of logistical stuff that makes this quite difficult. Like, it makes me think of in the United States when there were separate but equal, supposedly segregated classrooms, but segregated by race, where theoretically the idea was under the law, segregation was okay as long as the accommodations were equal, but they were never equal. They were never the same quality, right? So it's probably going to be a similar situation where even if women do have some form of access to higher education, it's not going to be of the same standard. And then there's the question again of like, okay, if we have to segregate these by sex, then what about these professors? Especially if it's going to be increasingly difficult for women to attain higher education, that means that there's going to be a severe deficit in the market of female professors who can meet that demand. I saw some analysts saying that like maybe they will figure out something like with video calls with male professors, like well, there'll be like a Skype call where they call in and that's how you give a lecture or something. But yeah, logistically, this is going to be very difficult to execute. I think it's reasonable to say that it will not be of the same quality or standard. And then yesterday, there was this announcement that Taliban says that Afghan boys' schools can reopen, but there's no mention of girls. So some news agencies went ahead and said this effectively bans women's education. And I don't know if, like, they haven't made a declaration against women's education in high school specifically, but not mentioning it is suspicious. Well, let me read the news. From Reuters, Afghan schools will open for boys from Saturday, which was, yesterday for that time zone. The new Taliban Ministry of Education said in a statement that gave no indication of when girls may be able to return to their classes. More than a month after the movement seized the capital, Kabul, most educational institutions have remained closed as the Taliban have struggled to reopen the economy and restore normal life in the cities. At some of the schools that have managed to operate, girls up to the 6th grade have attended, and women students have gone to university classes, but high schools for girls have been closed. Taliban officials have said that they will not replicate the fundamentalist policies of the previous Taliban government, which banned girls' education. And they have promised that girls will be able to study so long as they do so in segregated classrooms. While the Taliban did not order schools to close after their takeover, the movement has said the security situation meant that many activities for women and girls were not yet possible, and the latest statements did not mention girls at all. It said state and private schools at primary and secondary level, as well as official madrasa religious schools, will be open starting Saturday. All teachers and male students should attend school, the statement said. So what do you think of all that?
I have some thoughts, but before we go there, I think this guy is bringing up an interesting point. Do you want to read that?
Music Guy eloquently stated, I'm sure most of the educated have yeeted Afghanistan.
I would think that would be true even more so for educated Afghani women as well, right? So which apparently that now they're much needed in Afghanistan for teaching classes. And here's another comment. Read this. Do it.
I hate you guys. So Kuduro is saying, women's education is now Taliban.
Okay. All right.
Just
I have a thought about some ways to alleviate this situation. And I'm going to go with the recommendation of the Egyptian imam. Okay. Do you remember the Egyptian imam who, you know how in Islam, men can be with women if they are family? Okay. And we have Islamic hadith that if you drink another woman's milk, you will become family with them.
Yes.
And that's a way for men and women who are not related with each other to become related with each other. And we have Islamic hadith on this, where Aisha had used this to be able to hang out with men that she wasn't family members with, even though she wasn't lactating. She had sisters who were lactating, and she got their milk and gave it to men that she wanted to hang out with, so that their family.
Not hang out. She needed to command them in an army.
In an army and stuff.
She wanted to speak to them.
And we had an Egyptian imam that was also suggesting that in workplace, women who want to enter the workplace with other men, they should be breastfeeding men, just the same way in Hadith, Aisha's sisters breastfed the men that she wanted to be with. In the modern workplace, this Egyptian imam was also suggesting that women can breastfeed the men in their office as a way to be able to be around them. So I think the Taliban should make some concessions like this as well. I think like in universities, if you are lactating, just breastfeed the entire class and your professor, right? It doesn't take much. I heard like 2 sucks is enough to make you a family. So just give like wasn't it between like guys, 2 to 10? I think it was 2. But guys, I'm not even making this up. This is Islam. This is Islamic hadith, right?
This is a real. So yeah, it's real.
So if you really want to be educated, either get pregnant or find a pregnant person in your family member, and just bring them to class, and just line up all the male students and your professor, and just breastfeed the entire class. And then you could attend because you're not all family. I actually also there's even a story that Aisha was never lactating herself because she never had a child, so she kept using her family members to this. And I remember that we were talking about Aisha's families hiding the fact that they were pregnant, and we made this up because they were like, "Oh my God, if Aisha if Aisha finds out that we're pregnant, she's gonna make us lactate her entire army, like breastfeed her entire army." So hide the baby. Just like, anyway, guys, I'm not making this up. This is actual Islam, and this was an actual decree by an imam in Egypt as well.
Well, he wasn't an imam; he was just a scholar. They got promptly reprimanded.
Okay. Yes. But
yeah, no, that did really happen.
Yes, and actually, one of the most famous modern scholars in Islamic. In Islamic scholarship, which is celebrated and authenticates hadith, the most celebrated modern Islamic scholar, which was, I think his name was Albani. You remember?
You nailed it.
Yeah, he actually said the reason why this works in Islam, because people were asking the scholar, and guys, this was the most celebrated as modern Islamic scholar before he died. Okay, and this is within our lifetime. Because people were asking, how could you actually be breastfed by a woman? Because now your lips have to touch her nipples,
and that's forbidden
before you become family, right?
Yeah.
So how could your lips touch her nipples while she's haram to you, right? And that's forbidden. Like maybe after it's halal, but not before. And he argued that the nipples are excluded from being haram to men because nipples are dark and nobody would be attracted to dark skin. So because nipples are dark and they are unattractive, which sounds racist actually, now that I think about it.
Correct.
The nipple area is a part of a woman's skin that it's not haram to touch. So you could,
because it is not a subject of temptation because it is dark and ugly, basically.
Exactly. So when you are sucking on the nipple, you have to just make sure your lips don't touch. Like if the woman has very small nipples, then you have to be very careful because your lips might actually touch the outside parts of the nipple.
What if your nipples are dark?
Then you're screwed. If you have pink nipples, then you're screwed because that's actually apparently
I'm
screwed. Oh wait, we have a Apostate Prophet.
Apostate Prophet shows up right now. Yo,
no,
what's up, bro?
He's like, that's stupid. I like nipples. I do too. No, but a lot of people were asking.
Temptation.
Yeah, no, but a lot of people are like, wait, Imam Albani. So what if somebody is dark skin all over? Like, is
the whole rest of them no longer a subject of temptation? Therefore, it's all good.
So we could do it. Yeah, I mean, this means like, yeah, they're halal.
Well, Muhammad Hijab, that was actually exactly what he said in that video that's been deleted, and that's why he got in so much trouble. And yeah,
Islam,
like Sunnah discourse was going after him. Like it really devolved.
Yeah.
Like that's what I loved about that Dawa drama, because I just love Dawa drama, but that was like the wildest Dawa drama ever because it exposed a lot of non-Muslims to that aspect of Islam where they're like, you guys have nipple sucking? Like your scholarship is dedicated to figuring out how you suck the nipples of a woman to make her your family member? Okay, that itself is weird already, but then you have to actually argue over the technicalities of it? What am I hearing?
Yeah. Yeah, basically the summary is adult men being breastfed by adult women who they are not related with as a way to become related to them so that they become family member. And
adult men arguing over how to do this the right way.
The right way, and arguing over if nipples are actually a source of attraction or not because of how dark they are. This is a subject on serious argument among Muslim scholars and Dawa people in the 21st century. Amazing.
The year of our Lord 2021.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's a good way to spend our time, right?
Read this one.
Oh my God. So Kuro was saying maybe they should design a burqa which covers the woman's from head to toe, but the nipples alone are exposed.
I mean, why not? They're unattractive. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Albani had a lot of nerve speaking on behalf of all men. He had a lot of nerve.
Yeah. Like, did he actually look at the nipples of his wife and went like, ew?
They're dark.
Yeah. Why? Gross.
Well, this news segment really went off the rails.
Yeah. All right. We should turn that into one of our blasphemous art, where you have a full-on hijab but the nipples are showing. I don't know. We'll see.
And it could say like.
I should
make my Muharram here or something. Like written on the chest.
We should do something. We should actually do an art about that. Anyways, oh, by the way, Apostate Prophet is here. We should actually do an art. I promise Apostate Prophet that we're going to do an art featuring him. So remind me to talk to you about that after the stream.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of Blasphemy and Sexy Callie, like me, then you need to be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below. Because if you subscribe, we will send you a free copy of our Blasphemous Art ebook. And let me tell you, it is the tastiest blasphemy that you can find anywhere available today. And we are so generous with our blasphemy that we continue to send you more blasphemy every week. So make sure to subscribe, link in the description below.